So the SMMA space is changing quite drastically, right? Old strategies like relying on referrals, sending thousands of DMs every day no longer work. Maybe 4 years ago, but not nowadays. And with thousands of new agencies coming to the space every single day, which makes it obviously harder to stand out. Now, does that mean that it's kind of the end of running a profitable agency? Actually, not at all. It's quite the opposite, actually. It just means that the way you track clients has to change. You see, in the last 30 days, me and my clients actually collectively signed over 100 clients using this exact method I'm going to show you in this video. So if you're tired of chasing leads, guessing what works and whatnot, just make sure to watch this video and steal this process. Let's dive in. So the first step here is actually the most overlooked. And if you get this thing wrong, your whole business is doomed to fail. And that's actually picking a profitable niche. What you gotta understand, if you're picking the wrong niche, a quote-unquote unprofitable niche, you can't make it. As Warren Buffett said, it doesn't matter how hard you row, it's about what boat you're in. So if you're in the wrong boat, you will not really make it at all. As an example, if you pick a niche that is shrinking every year, it's hard to find, it's small, you're just making it so much more difficult for yourself. So how do you pick a profitable niche? So first of all, you need a niche that is growing, obviously, that is easily contactable, and that there's lots of people in it. Ideally over 100,000. 100,000 unique people that you can outreach to, pretty much. Let me give an example of a bad niche. For example, the newspaper magazine industry. I think it's shrinking by 50% every single year. So if you want to get into that niche, you're kind of just dooming your business to fail. You're not going to be around for more than a year, pretty much. And good niches here, for example, is the one that I'm in, which is roofing and remodeling. Pretty much anything that is very local, that is growing. Because the thing is, there's only more houses being built, there's only more people being made, born every single day. People need a roof over their head, pretty much, right? People need the roof replaced. There's only more, people moving into houses, That's why it's growing. There's over 250,000 roofers in the US alone, and they're very easily contactable. I mean, you can go to Google Maps, you can find thousands of roofers' phone numbers. Very easy. Or for example, a very good one as well, car detailing. There's over 100,000 car dealers in the US. You can just go to Google Maps as well, and it's only growing. There's only more cars being built, so that's a very good niche. Now, what I need you to know as well here, there's no such thing as a oversaturated niche. That's a myth, actually, to be honest. And I know this might seem kind of controversial or whatever, but there's always going to be a need for marketing in your niche, whether you're going to roofing, real estate, whatever it is, there's always a need for more Facebook ads, for more leads, for more marketing, The need doesn't shrink. What is going to really kind of shrink is your competition, because you need to know, even though there's thousands of people going into your niche every single day, most of them are doomed to fail. That's why you heard quite a lot that 95% of agency owners will not make any money. The reason being is because they get this thing wrong, they give up too early, they don't stick around, they have the wrong system in place, whatever it is, You're actually only competing with 5% of the people that actually go into the space every single day. So let's say there's 1,000 people in the space, in your niche, you're actually only competing with 50 with them, because 950 of these will not even be around for 2 months. And if you just stay along in the niche than them, you will beat them and be better than them and make more money than them, So oversaturated niches are not really real, because most people will fail anyway. Now, once you have your niche figured out, and don't overcomplicate the step, just pick a niche and stick with it, you need to create an irresistible offer that makes your prospects feel stupid if they say no to you. Let me explain. So first of all, you need to model your offer around Alex Hormozi's value equation. I'm going to pop it up on the screen here. It is dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times efforts. That's what creates value, right? So that can be, for example, dream outcome, get them 100 qualified appointments with homeowners that need a roof. That's a dream outcome, for example, Perceived likelihood of achievement, give them a guarantee, give them social proof, give them things to chew on that makes them trust you, and have systems in place that make them feel like that this is actually going to work for them. For example, help them book the appointments for them. That's one thing. Help them, get them more followers on Instagram, just stuff like that. Time delay, just add a time frame to it. For example, 100 appointments in 6 months, in 90 days, whatever time frame you want to go for. And effort, make it done for you. So they don't have to run the ads themselves. They don't have to do X, Y, and Z themselves. You do it for them. That's what creates value. Now, I'm going to give you here my exact offer in just a second. But you need to also have risk reversal elements in your offer. So the way you do this is you don't want to obviously go into the risk of risking a refund, risking disputes, or all of that nasty stuff. So you want to have certain, I guess, if you want to call it terms, or certain systems, certain, I guess, just processes in your kind of offer that make it very favorable for you as well as the clients. So the offer that I'm running is I guarantee them a certain amount of appointments in a certain amount of time frame. I got 3 packages. If they don't get all the appointments in that time frame, I will work past it for free for them until they get all the appointments. If they have any bad appointments, so if it's a no-show appointment, or if it's too far away, if it's just unqualified, they don't pay for it, right? And if they even don't make their money back in the time frame, I will give them a full refund plus $1,000. It's a complete no-brainer in a sense. And when I pitch this offer to clients on sales calls, they're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Let me just try it out. There's no risk doing it, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a like very similar model to like no win, no fee as lawyers have it, you know? This is some sauce right here. So obviously you don't want to be risking kind of like you having to give them refund because they can't sell. So in your actual contract, you have to say things, hey, you need to close at this amount of percentage, you need to follow up with all leads in this amount of time, you need to do this and this and this for you to even apply for the guarantee, right? You don't want to be risking refunds and whatnot because that's stuff you don't obviously want to be doing, yeah? You don't want to be giving money away for free, obviously. Now, if you want my exact offer template, the exact offer I use for my own agency clients, and if you're kind of like looking for some inspiration, just DM my Instagram, always happy to kind of give it out. It's at MarcoPGVO. Text me, I'll send it over, no strings attached. Now, once your offer is ready, right? Get this stuff done. This shouldn't take you longer than an hour really to do. Get the offer done. Now, the next thing here is you need to start your actual outreach process. Because the thing is, if you have a cool offer, but you know what, nobody to sell to, it's useless. I mean, you know, you just won't make any money. That's the name of the game. Depending on what your niche is, let's say it's roofing like mine, you have to source leads first, right? Go on Google Maps. There's certain tools like, for example, Instant Data Scraper you can use to scrape a ton of leads for free. Scrape up all leads, put them in a sheet and set them aside. Now, the thing is here, don't overcomplicate it. Whether you use BBB, Google Maps, whether you pay someone on Fiverr to do it for you, get it done. The main thing here is you need disgusting amounts of volume. I would recommend anybody to get a list of at least 20,000 leads. You heard me right? 20,000, not 500, not 1,000, 20,000, right? You want to have so much, you want to be doing so much volume that it is impossible for you to not make money, not get appointments, not get clients. You want to make it unreasonable. You want to have pretty much so much volume that it negates luck. So now that you have your list ready, you want to automate the entire outreach process. As the agency owner, you don't want to be cold calling yourself, like doing any of that crap. It's just a waste of time. It's no leverage. You want to have people doing it for you and automate the entire process. So first of all, why cold calling is low leverage? First of all, you will find, I mean, you can try it out yourself. I did it. If you cold call the roofing niche, you will maybe get like 1 appointment out of 1,000 people you cold call. It's very, very bad. First of all, you get a ton of gatekeepers. People are extremely burned in the niche. That's one thing. And it's just like, you're calling people one by one. So like with, for example, cold SMS, which is one of the methods I use for myself to get clients, you can blast out 1,000 SMS in a few minutes. With cold calling, it's one by one. It takes you maybe 5 minutes to do one cold call, maybe like 1 minute to do the cold call. You know, it's just kind of like one by one by one. When cold SMS is just like, boom, 1,000 done, getting replies. That's the name of the game. So depending on the niche, obviously, you want to be kind of going for an outreach method. If you're in the local niche space, for example, anything that's local, hair salons, med spas, gyms, roofers, remodelers, stuff like that, I would really highly recommend for you to go with cold SMS. The reason being is you can find these people's mobile phone number extremely easy. Sometimes even on Google Maps. And there's tools you can like use to like separate the landlines from the mobile numbers. Like for example, clear out phone or stuff like that. But you take these leads, you put them into a software where you can like send bulk SMS. And here's what you pretty much want to say to them. Hey, it's Marco. I found you on Google the other day, right? I was wondering if you were open to a simple, low-effort partnership. I can bring you an extra 9 to 10 roofing jobs. Can I share some more information with you? That's what you say. It's very low pressure. It's very, very low commitment. They can say yes or no. You don't want to say, hey, can I give you a call? Hey, can you call me? You know, you want to keep it very low pressure, very low commitments. And again, going back to the previous point, you can't be sending 100 SMS out every day. You need to be sending thousands, bro. I send right now, as we speak, 5,000 SMS every single day. That's why my calendar is full every day. That's why I'm getting 1 or 2 deals every single day in, you know? You want to be sending so much volume that it is kind of impossible for you to not sign clients. Even if you suck at sales, if you just have a full calendar every single day, you will sign a client eventually. You know, whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you will sign someone eventually if you just have your calendar stacked every single day. Now I give you the script right here. Don't just use it and copy and paste it and use it because it will not work for you, right? You have to imagine there's probably maybe 1,000, 2,000, I don't know how many people will watch this video, but you have to go into it with the mindset that everybody will just copy and paste the script. And if that happens, it will not work for that long, you know? So take the script, reiterate it. If you can't think for yourself, go into ChatGPT, do it there, make it paraphrase it, you know? But you need to make it unique and add your own spin to it. Now, how do you automate this entire outreach system? So the way you do it is you need to actually outsource this process. Nowadays, do you think that me in my position right now that I'm doing any cold calls myself, that I'm doing any cold SMS calls myself? Of course not. That's retarded. So you need to find setters that can do the calling for you. So whenever you get a positive reply from your prospects, you have someone call up the lead and get them booked in for a quick sales call. And just being totally honest, you can probably hire your friends to do that. It takes like 1 or 2 hours or maybe 3 hours every single day for them to do it. So if you have any friends that want to make some money on the side, just hire them. That's my personal recommendation. That's what I did. And if you have the system running, you should have pretty much sales calls on your calendar on autopilot every single day, at least 5 or 6 of them. You need the volume, right? We need the volume again to get some more deals in, right? You need not a ton of sales calls to close people. You know, that's the name of the game here as well. It's not about just like sending SMS, also like getting a ton of volume for sales calls here. But how do you actually close people in these sales calls? That's like one thing I struggled so badly with. I was so shit at sales at the start. I think I went like 100 sales calls like back-to-back no's. Not even kidding. I had people even coach me on sales calls how to sell them. It was really, really bad. What I want you to understand, sales in the agency space is all about trust. If someone does not trust you, they will never buy from you. They will never think that it's a good idea to buy from you, ever, okay? Your own experience. When was the last time you saw someone online for the first time and you decided to pay them right away? Probably never. You just have someone reach out to you, maybe it's a cold call, and you just pay them over the phone. It just doesn't happen, you know? So you need the trust factor. Now, how do you even build trust? The main thing you have to understand with building trust is, first of all, you need to just be a trustworthy, transparent person. Same thing for your sellers. If you coach up your sellers, tell them it's all about trust. If they don't trust you, if they don't, you know, think that you can get them to where they want to be. One key system I have in my own agency is actually having a pre-call VSL that sells them on my own company, on pretty much makes them trust me already, right? So when I'm on sales calls with these guys, they're pretty much ready to pay me because they see my testimonials, they've seen who I've worked with, they've seen the results I've gotten them. They maybe even called up some of my existing clients before the sales call and they talked to these guys. So on sales calls with them, when I actually pitch them, they're like, okay, obviously what you're doing is working, so why not just try it out? Because you've seen it working for other guys firsthand. People buy from whom they trust, whether it's people, whether it's a online person influencer, whether it's a clothing brand. Like if you were to go to like some random clothing brand, the website looks sketchy, it looks kind of like it's been built in 2009, you wouldn't buy from it, obviously, you know? Everything in sales is about trust, whether it's in-person trust, like person to person selling someone, whether it's e-commerce, it's all about trust. I want to ingrain this in your mind whenever you try to sell something. Now, when you're actually on these calls, right, you want to be aiming for one call closes. Don't book a ton of follow-up calls. Don't have like fucking 5 follow-up calls because they need to talk to their business partner, right? Tell them, you want to communicate to them pretty much that these calls are meant for one call closes. We don't do any of that fancy stuff where you have to like review to your marketing manager, whatever, stuff like that. Maybe with bigger companies, like people that make over 100 mil a year, they might need to do that. But with the average roofing company that makes like $1 million a year, they don't have a marketing manager. They don't have anybody they need to run this by if you're talking to the owner, right? That's why selling to these types of people is so easy, because you can just get them to close on the actual call, you know, because it's like a kind of a one-man show in a sense. Now, if you do get to a point where you can't seem to close them on a call, whatever, you never want to leave the call without any form of commitment. One thing that is going to make you so much money, listen to this right now, is taking deposits on sales calls. I repeat, take deposits on sales calls. And this only works if they trust you, if they like what you have to offer, and they think it's going to work for them, okay? And this works amazingly well if you have incentive pricing as well, because you need something to justify it with, you know, right? So what you want to pretty much do on sales calls, if they are bullshitting you and they don't have the call and they want to go away, whatever, they don't want to do it now pretty much, is you want to take a $100 deposit and kind of tell them, hey, I totally understand that you have to go away and talk to your business partner or run it by to your marketing manager, whatever it is. Are you down, just so I know that you're actually committed to doing this, putting down a refundable deposit of just $100, nothing crazy, on the premise that we talk next week and your marketing manager tells us, hey, this is not good, we don't want to do this, we don't want to make more money, crack a joke in there. I'll send it right back to you, no hard feelings. I just need something so I can hold this current spot for you. We're quite a small company, gonna take a ton of people on. It's just so I can like secure a spot and, you know, have you ready as soon as you're kind of ready to go here. Is that fine? You know, and if you kind of have trust with them, if they trust you, if they like you, if they think the product is gonna work for them, they're gonna pay it, you know? And what this does, unconsciously in their mind, they already paid you, you know? Therefore, there's this thing called consistency bias. Humans tend to repeat actions they already did in the past. So if they paid you already once, they're gonna repeat it next week or whenever the follow-up call is with them. And if they already paid you, they're less likely to ghost you and actually pay you in the future, obviously, which is the main goal here. One thing I do want to add to the previous one with trust is nowadays when I hop on sales calls, I talk barely about my product. I tell them, hey, these are the results we're getting, these are the case studies we're getting, these are live Facebook ad accounts. I show them everything about my business and I just pretty much drown them in a social proof. People don't care about how you run the ads, how you do this and Y and Z. They don't give a shit. Like I had like someone pitch me today for also like content. It was like, oh yeah, we chop up your videos this way, we use this program. I don't care how you do it, just get it done, you know? Now, if you don't have any social proof yet, if you don't have any testimonials, any case studies in past clients, that's totally fine. I actually recorded a total separate video on this topic, how to sell people without any prior experience. It's gonna pop on the screen somewhere here. give it a watch after this one, because selling without any results is pretty difficult, but I do have a strategy that is able to make it pretty easy. Also, with the kind of whole deposit thing or whatever, if they throw you an objection like, oh, I need to talk to my husband, I need to talk to my hamster about it, like really 95% of the time, all objections they give you are just bullshit. Objections are pretty much just reasons why they can't move forward right now on this call with you. I need to save us some money, whatever, you know. Really, 95% of the time, you can resolve these things logically. For example, you can offer payment plans if they can't have the money. If they need to talk to the wife, get them to call the wife on the call right now and get it sorted right there and then. The reason why they're giving you objections is because they don't trust you. If they would have trusted you, they would have been real with you. There's this thing with objections called smokescreen objections. What that really means is if they tell you, I need to talk to my business partner about it, it usually hides something underneath. You know, they kind of give it as a cover up for something deeper. For example, they legitimately don't have the money. That's a legit objection. If they have 1,000 in their bank account, they might not be a good fit to work with you. And if that's the case, you should have actually weeded it out in the discovery phase of the sales skill, which is earlier, right? Where you ask them questions and whatever. Because you need to know, like, you're talking to these people for the first time, so they might be kind of, I guess, maybe uncomfortable sharing like the root thing that is kind of holding them back. For example, it's very difficult to tell someone, hey, I don't trust you, but it's very easy to say to someone, hey, I'll have to think about it. That's very easy to say. And the way you kind of get around it and get them to like the root thing that is holding them back here, it's just by being totally transparent. Just tell them, hey man, I totally understand. This is something that is maybe kind of like new to you. We're both salespeople here. You're a salesperson, I'm a salesperson. We both know how this kind of sales game works. And I found in my experience, if someone tells me that they have to think about things and they have to go away and do stuff like that, that usually kind of stems from a point of trust or something deeper underneath that. And it's not really about them having to go away and do that thing. So let's be real here. What's kind of the thing that is maybe like wanting you to maybe put it off or, you know, like delay it? And if you say it in a genuine caring tone, they will open up to you and you can like really then dig into why they want to delay it, and then you can solve it and close the deal. And if you did all these steps so far, congrats. You just signed your first client and you made a few $1,000s. Now, the real actual challenge is, well, not real challenge, but the main thing that is kind of tricky at the start is actually getting them results, right? Because that's what keeps them paying you, and that's also like what is going to make them give you a ton of referrals. Because you don't want to be chasing clients for the rest of your life. That's stupid. You want to have your clients refer you more clients, and those clients referring even more clients. So it's kind of a infinite exponential spiral up, pretty much. I want you to understand, most agencies have a shit service. Most agencies scam their clients. They charge them money and they don't deliver anything in return. If you're in business and you scam people and you have a shit service and you don't get them anything, you shouldn't be running a business. If someone pays you a certain amount of money and you guarantee them a certain result and you don't get it to them, you're pretty much scamming people. And if you don't have a good product, you don't have a business. Because think about it, if you're watching this on an iPhone, if you're watching this on a Samsung, whatever it is, ask yourself, why have you bought that phone? Chances are because the product is good, because it's known to be good. It's proven to work. It's proven that it works for other people. That's why you bought it probably. So I can tell you, service delivery is the most important part of your business. If you just focus on marketing and you don't worry about the actual service, you will not really stick around for that long at all. So for service delivery, I do actually have a dedicated video for it because that's just the most important thing. And with kind of having a good service, it's just like exponential progress, because if you have proven it to yourself that your service works, you will be so much more confident on your actual sales skills, and you will tell people indirectly, that's what I do, for example, myself, like, you're dumb if you don't sign up. That's like what I indirectly let them know, because I know if someone signs up with me that they will make so much money. So go watch the video after this one and lock in that service delivery. So there you have it, the new way of getting agency clients in 2025. Now, if you want some one-on-one help with scaling your own agency and getting to 10, 20, even 50K per month, then just DM me on Instagram. There's a link in the description below, and I'll see if I can help you. I also actually have a full course literally teaching everything you need to know to scale an agency in 2025. So click on the video that pops up right now and go watch it. And if you learned anything in this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.